off our discussion tonight is the Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. He's a member of both the House Oversight Committee and the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thank you for being with us tonight. Trying to get my head around two different parts of this, because no matter how you look at the Epstein situation, all roads lead through Alex Acosta, right? Whether there was a prosecution or no prosecution or a deal, it all had to happen around Alex Acosta. He said a couple of interesting things. Times were different back in 2006. I'm trying to get my head around whether Alex Acosta did something wrong or he was truly incompetent, having not read the victims' statements, having not thought that this was a case worth pursuing because he felt it was too weak to win. What's your sense of it after hearing some of this testimony?
So first of all, I think it was both. I think he did something wrong in terms of not really even looking at the victim's statements, examining the voluminous evidence. There were over 40 minors that were willing to testify. And so to say that somehow that evidence was flimsy or that case was weak kind of defies logic. I don't think there was a weak case. There was a weak prosecutor, Ali. And I think that at this point, I think that his defiant, unremorseful demeanor also just simply suggests that, we need to do more digging. We need those Epstein files as well, because I think they will also contain more information, maybe even with regard to this particular non-prosecutorial agreement. Just as an example, there was a draft 50-page indictment, as well as a 80-page kind of detailed report that was done by the line prosecutor that we still haven't seen. And it apparently was done before this non-pros agreement had been entered into.
So let's talk about, look, the defiance part seems to be de rigueur for anybody appointed by Donald Trump these days. But was there some sense that the lack of remorse is intriguing only because it doesn't have to be personal remorse. It needs to be an understanding of how is it that a case like this, it was sort of unbelievable to the public when this all came, to the public eye in 2018, 2019, that something like this was allowed to happen. Seems odd that Acosta didn't have any sense of what Palm Beach County was doing and the fact that they put him on this work release program. It beggars disbelief, right, that this was all allowed to happen to one of the worst sex offenders that we've come across in recent decades.
Well, look, I think one of the issues that we have to confront as well is that, one of the claims that the survivors make is that somehow Jeffrey Epstein had ties to the intelligence community. And, Acosta denies having made statements about this particular issue. Others claim that he has. So one of the things that's going to come out of this is I plan to ask for documents from the CIA and the intelligence community with regard to Epstein, because you're right. I think all the facts, they just don't add up. And right. Acosta continuing to claim that he had no knowledge of what was going on, he didn't assess the evidence, he didn't know how bad it was, just raises the question of what other equities or what other issues or factors were at play here.
Well, this is the piece of testimony that I was most intrigued by, because it's the person who could shed some light onto this whole thing. There are worlds colliding here, right? There's the conspiracy theory world. There's the Dan Bongino, Kash Patel world, the right-wing world that says that this was all a cover-up and there was a big promise to let it all go. Acosta's really the guy who could have told you from A to B, here's how this unfolded. It sounds from your colleagues and you that just didn't happen today, that you didn't get good new information that helps move this investigation forward.
No, I think what we need is a couple things. One, we need those documents. We need the rest of those files, the Epstein files, but we also need to be able to interview other witnesses and get those financial records. I think those financial records are really important in understanding, who was benefiting from this child sex trafficking ring. And quite frankly, who would have stood to gain by covering up all this stuff at the time that Acosta decided to enter into this non-pros agreement? Ron Wyden, in the Senate has said that there was more than $1 billion in wire transaction activity related to this child sex trafficking ring, which is an astonishing amount. And we need to get to the bottom of who were receiving those wire transactions and who were making them.
Yeah, these days, if you try and transfer $10,000 anywhere, you have to explain where that money's going.
That's right. I mean, if I could just say one thing, I mean, what is just crazy is that everything was done in cash. It was $300 for each child to perform a quote unquote massage, and then $300 to induce another child to also do the same. So it's just tons of cash.
Yep.
In a time when this is post 9/11, there's KYC requirements that would have required financial institutions to understand with more detail, like why so much cash was being dispersed.
Right.
And so that's why we need to get the financial documents.
Congressman, good to talk to you. Thank you for being with us. Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, member of the House Oversight and House Intel Committees, Congressman from